Hey everyone, this is Nathan. You're watching NanoRel TV, and on today's episode we are going to be ranking the MCU movies from worst to best. In a span of 10 years, Marvel has released 20 different movies in this Marvel Cinematic Universe, starting with Iron Man and ending with the latest release, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Before we begin, if you are a new viewer to NanoRel TV, just tuning in for the first time, I invite you to hit that subscribe button so that you can see future videos and enjoy what happens here at NanoRel TV. So without further ado, let's start. Number 20. Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 is one of the only MCU movies that I actually consider to just be bad. It's not a terrible movie, but it's just not enjoyable. It's just really stupid. I don't enjoy it that much at all. The only good things about this movie is that Black Widow is introduced, but even at that, it's not that big of an introduction. It's just kind of like, okay, she's in the universe now. Yay! Honestly, other than that though, there's nothing else in this movie that strikes out to me as important or very memorable for that matter. And so with that being said, why not move on to number 19? Number 19 goes to Thor: The Dark World. Now, Thor: The Dark World is a movie that I have not seen since the theaters, yes, since 2013, and I don't remember it too much. And so I think that says it enough that it's just not a very good movie. I had to watch the Honest trailer to remind myself of what it's even about. It's just kind of a messy movie and not the most enjoyable movie out there. Number 18 goes to The Incredible Hulk. Now, The Incredible Hulk is actually a fun movie to me, but I think it takes itself way too serious. See, present-day Marvel movies, they are aware that they have established themselves. They have plenty of jokes that can make the audience laugh. It can give the audience just a fun time. Incredible Hulk took itself way too serious. I mean, yeah, there's probably one joke in the movie that makes you chuckle, but other than that, it's just very serious and not as enjoyable as the other movies. And at number 17, we've got Iron Man 3. The one thing I like about Iron Man 3 is that it really hits hard at Tony Stark's PTSD from the Avengers, the events that happened in the Avengers. But other than that, it's just a really corny movie. Like, if I remember right, Pepper Potts breathes fire at one point. I think that happens. Yeah, that's too cheesy for this guy. At number 16, we've got Doctor Strange. No pun intended here, but just a little bit too strange for me. I like Benedict Cumberbatch, but honestly, it's just Iron Man 1 with magic. Number 15 is the first Thor movie. I actually like this movie. I thought it would be really bad, and when I saw it, it was a lot better than I expected it to be. Let's see, it came out in 2011. I probably haven't seen it since 2013. So I probably watched it before Thor: The Dark World. So I haven't seen it in like 5 years. I don't remember too much from it, but I remember that Thor is really funny, and it's what established him as one of my favorite Avengers. Number 14 goes to Captain America: The First Avenger. The First Avenger is a fun movie, but I think what I like most about it is that it takes place during World War II. It was fun seeing an MCU movie that takes place such a long time ago. Number 13 goes to Avengers: Age of Ultron. Now, I like Avengers: Age of Ultron, but I also think that it is one of the most forgettable movies in the MCU. I think the first Avengers is memorable because it was really the first movie where we got to see all the Avengers come together for the first time. Infinity War is very memorable for a lot of reasons that I'll get to later. Whereas Age of Ultron, the villain's Ultron, he's only a one-movie villain, and you've got Quicksilver who dies in the movie. I mean, there's just not too much to it. At number 12, I've got Thor: Ragnarok. This is definitely the best Thor movie of the trilogy. I loved the Hulk in it, and I loved the humor in it. There were a lot of colors. Something that kind of threw me off, though, is at times I felt like it was trying too hard to be a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. And Thor isn't Guardians of the Galaxy. Yes, they both take place in, like, space, but Thor still has to be its own movie. With that being said, though, it was still a great movie, but I don't think I liked it as much as everyone else did. And at number 11, I've got the newest MCU movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Now, Ant-Man and the Wasp was a very enjoyable movie. I may even say it was funnier than the first one. I laughed at several parts, and I really liked the use of Evangeline Lilly as the Wasp. That's the best thing about this movie. There are a few flaws I had with it. I think that some things are a little too convenient to the plot, but it was a nice breather from Infinity War, where Infinity War just kind of tore everyone apart, whereas Ant-Man and the Wasp was just a nice, fun Marvel movie. Okay, the top 10 range is where it gets hard because all of these movies I enjoy. But I'm gonna go ahead and say that number 10 goes to The Avengers. This movie was such a big movie when it came out. I was anticipating it like crazy. I mean, it was really the first movie of any superhero franchise to combine so many big superheroes, and to see them all together on the big screen was amazing. But even since my first viewing in the theaters, I've always had some problems. I think it's a little corny, and I just think that the other 9 movies that I'm going to mention now are better than it. Number 9 goes to the first MCU movie of 2018, and that is Black Panther. Now, Black Panther was such a fun movie because I felt like it was different than any other MCU movie. Really, if I were to explain it, it's The Lion King meets MCU. I mean, think about it. T'Challa has a vision from his father about being king. It's all about choosing a rightful king. It takes place in Africa. It's just like so many things reminded me of The Lion King. And Killmonger was a sweet villain too. This is going to be low to a lot of people, but for me, number 8 goes to Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Personally, I think the best thing it has going for it is the action. There are a lot of sweet action scenes in this movie. A lot of cool fighting and explosions and all that fun stuff. Plus, it is a big advancement from Captain America: The First Avenger. I do think it's better than the first one. And it's cool seeing Captain America with Black Widow, and also we meet Falcon, so that's pretty cool too. Number 7 goes to Ant-Man. What I love about this dang movie so much is Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. He's just hilarious. He is perfect for the part. The great thing about Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp, for that matter, is that both movies understand that they're dealing with a superhero called Ant-Man. His superpowers are pretty pathetic, but they portray him in such a neat fashion. They actually show that Ant-Man is a really cool superhero. Why I like Ant-Man more than Ant-Man and the Wasp, I honestly couldn't really tell you. I think that it's kind of like a Home Alone 1 and 2 situation where both movies are really good and it's so hard to choose one over the other, but if I had to choose one, it goes to Ant-Man. At number 6, we've got the movie that started it all, Iron Man. I really, really enjoy Iron Man, and I think that Robert Downey Jr. is perfect for the part. I'm not really adding anything to the table. Everything that I'm saying about it has been said before, but for what it's worth, I agree. Iron Man is amazing, and if it wasn't amazing, who knows? We probably wouldn't have the 19 movies that follows it. All right, it is time for the top 5. At number 5 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. A lot of people were kind of taken back by this one. They didn't really care for it too much. I enjoyed it. The thing I liked about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is there's a lot more character development. I mean, yeah, Star-Lord, you see a lot of character development. I mean, you learn more about his past, about his father, about himself, but more so, I like the character development in Rocket the Raccoon. Because Rocket... Why did I say Rocket the Raccoon? Rocket Raccoon... Wait, is his name Rocket Raccoon? Yeah, it's Rocket Raccoon. You see a different side of him in this movie. You see a more torn apart side of him. You see a little bit of anger, more anger than usual, and some sadness, and I like that because Rocket Raccoon has always been my favorite Guardian. And so I like that you see a little bit more depth to his character in this movie. Also, Baby Groot is amazing. Coming in at number 4 is Captain America: Civil War. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. The reason I love this movie so much is because Spider-Man was introduced. He's my favorite superhero. I absolutely love him, and I think the MCU Spider-Man is amazing. I love what they did with him. Tom Holland plays the part great. There are some very cheesy things about this movie. The idea of them fighting over an agreement, even risking each other's lives, a little corny to me, but that airport scene, it's just fun to see all the superheroes fighting each other. I mean, that's why we love these movies. And speaking of how much I love Spider-Man, at number 3, I've got Spider-Man Homecoming. Spider-Man Homecoming was such a fun movie. It was just a high school movie. It's not as good as the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. I think the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies show more emotion to them. There are bigger risks to the character of Spider-Man. This movie is very easygoing. If Spider-Man is ever in a bad situation, it's kind of easy to get out of. And that's actually something that I hope that they change in the second Spider-Man movie. Apparently it's called Far From Home. I hope they improve upon that. I want to see him in worse conditions. I want to see him in a situation where it's not so easy to get out of. But that was my only gripe with the movie. Other than that, it's just really enjoyable and funny. Number 2 goes to Guardians of the Galaxy. I remember before any trailer was even released, before any character poster was released, just hearing the premise of the movie, I mean, a talking raccoon, a tree, all that fun stuff, I was instantly intrigued. And then the trailer dropped and it looked amazing and the movie delivered. It was such a fun time. The best thing about this movie is definitely when Star-Lord reaches for the Infinity Stone and they all hold it together. They're all holding hands. It's awesome. I loved it. I love it so much. And all the Guardians are great characters too. I mean, Gamora, she's not as cool, but she's still cool. My number one MCU movie is easily Avengers Infinity War. This movie took me on a trip. It was funny, it was emotional, it was action-packed, it was just awesome. This universe has been building up to this movie for so many years, and to finally see it pay off was so rewarding, and I was so satisfied with the ending as well. I am really excited for the fourth Avengers movie, whatever it's going to be called. You see all the characters that you love, and everyone except for Hawkeye and Ant-Man and the Wasp. But other than those people, you see everyone that you love so much just fight, and all of them play a specific role, which is why it's so fun to watch, because not one can be left out, and the stakes are so high, and I loved it so much. I just absolutely love this movie. It's my favorite movie of the year so far. Okay, well, I just talked about 20 movies, and now I need to edit this long video. There have been a lot of MCU movies, and I don't even know. I think there are still like a lot in planning too. We've got Captain Marvel coming, Avengers 4, Spider-Man Far From Home. Apparently there's a Doctor Strange sequel in the works, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It kind of makes me wonder like how long this MCU phase will go. Like how long do you guys think these movies will go until people just kind of get tired of them? Because right now, Ant-Man and the Wasp is our 20th movie and I'm still enjoying them, but at the same time, Ant-Man and the Wasp was a fun movie, but it's kind of forgettable too. But for now, before those 5 movies come out, geez, those were my 20 MCU movies ranked. As always on these ranking videos, leave your rankings in the comments below. I love seeing different opinions and why you guys love each movie. And if you want to see any other ranking videos, I've done a few on the channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button, check out my channel, and give them a watch. Okay, my battery's dying, so I am gonna end this video. I'll see you guys later.